Hello and welcome to Are Those BookTok Books Really Worth the Read? This is a different kind of video for me today. As we are currently moving into our brand new house, we have all of our books all over the floor. These were in quite cute piles and I thought, why don't I sit down next to them and talk about books, specifically BookTok books. Because like many of us, BookTok is exactly how I got back into reading, and so many books go viral on there, and the question is, are they really worth it? So today, I thought I would compile a list of the most famous BookTok books that I own and have read, and I'm going to tell you if they are worth the read, and we're going to have loads of fun. So whether you're a veteran, experienced reader, or you've never read a book since you were in year 6 and you read Michael McFaden and the Whale Tale or whatever that was called, without further ado, let's begin. If we're going to talk about BookTok books, there's one woman who controls the entire internet. And that is Colleen Hoover. Now, I own almost all of Colleen Hoover's books and I've read every single one of them. I adore Colleen Hoover. Now, are her books the best books in the world? No. Are all of them well written? No. Do all of the plots make sense? No. But does that matter? No! Because do you enjoy every single second? Absolutely yes. So here's just a little collection of some of the most famous Colleen Hoovers. Overall, I would recommend any Colleen Hoover. They're so fast-paced and they're so cutesy, especially all the love stories. Even when they make no sense, you just want to know what's going to happen, so you end up reading it really quickly, and that's why I think they're such good books for people that aren't into reading. They're also a bit unhinged, and who doesn't love that? The most famous Colleen Hoover book is, of course, which also has its sequel, It Starts With Us. Both of these, completely worth reading, really enjoyable, but also really strange. The movie is terrible though. That's beside the point. Ugly Love is absolutely tapped. This book is tapped, but it is worth reading, but it is really strange. Hopeless is one of my favourite Colleen Hoover books. Absolutely 12 out of 10 would recommend. The thing about Colleen Hoover books as well that I always tell people that haven't read them is the titles always mean something else after you've read the book. Obviously, you always get an idea of what the book might be about from the title, but when you read them, the title always means something else, or it means so much more than it did. And I love that, especially Hopeless. It's one of my favourite ones. Now I look at it and it's like I know a little secret because I've read the book and I know why it's really called Hopeless. And I love that. 12 out of 10 would recommend. And finally, the greatest Colleen Hoover book of all time, Verity. This book is super spooky scary, which is not normally Colleen's vibe, but you know what? This woman smashed out the park. This book has almost like an open ending of you have to decide which person you believe, and I still, to this day, I read it 2 years ago, I still don't know what I believe. It sits on my mind every single day. This book is so good. You will fly through it. I read it in one flight from England to Spain, and that tells you how good it is. 12 out of 10 would recommend. I would recommend all Colleen Hoovers, but this is the best one. So overall, Colleen Hoover, thumbs up. But is it good writing? Not really. Now, the next author who absolutely dominates TikTok, BookTok, and all the talks as a romance author is, of course, Emily Henry. Emily Henry has, first of all, the cutest books, because look how cute they all look together. But her books are like severely rom-com, like severe rom-com. If you're looking for a cutesy little read where you're begging for the two main characters to get together by the end of the book, then Emily Henry is your girl. All of her books are beautiful. I love the colours, I love how they all look together, and I keep buying all of her books just because I want a full collection. However, do I really recommend them? I'm not so sure. The first Emily Henry book I ever read was You and Me on Vacation. This was because it was super, super famous on BookTok. And this was really good. Read it, I thought, wow, I love that super cute summery vibe. Love the rom-com, love the vibe. Emily Henry is also the queen of tropes, and I love a classic trope. The next one I read was Beach Read. Now, I don't love Beach Read. It's very famous, but for me, it's a little bit boring. And that's kind of the theme for the next three. These are the other Emily Henry books. I think Book Lovers is a really good one. I would recommend You, Me on Vacation and Book Lovers out of all the Emily Henrys. Those are the best two. But for me, the other Emily Henrys are a bit boring. It just doesn't need to be as long as it is. And they're not even that long, but it's too long. I just find myself a bit like, right, I know what's gonna happen, I'm kind of bored, I'm not that invested, and also I feel like she writes quite unlikable characters, especially female characters. I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like the female characters in these books sometimes make me want to just rip my hair out, stand by strand, like they're really annoying, and I hate that. Overall, Emily Henry is a hit or miss. I fear these are a hit, and this is a miss. But don't take my word for it. You might disagree, so it is worth picking up a few, and also, even if you hate them, they look really cute on a bookshelf. And that's enough for me. If you're gonna get recommended some romance books, this is the greatest trilogy of all time. Now, these books are the cutest books in the world. Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown. These books are about three sisters, Eve, Chloe and Danny, who are all finding love in their own way. Now, the storylines in the books are super different. Every single one is so different. The tropes are so different. Each girl, each sister is so different, but they're in each other's books. You meet the first two sisters when you read the first book, but then when you read the second one, you're meeting the sister from the first book, but now she's like a side character, not the main character, and it's just such a cute trilogy. All the tropes are covered. You got grumpy sunshine, you got fake relationship, but guys, you'll love every single minute. Could not recommend this trilogy enough. They are so good. You will fly through them, and they are so so cute. The next BookTok book we're going to talk about is, of course, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. If you have not heard anything about this book, then oh my god, you're in for a treat. This book is absolute perfection. This is a 5 out of 5. Every single word is genius. The entire plot is immaculate. Anybody and everybody should read this book. There's nothing about this book that you wouldn't love. It's so good. This is about a reclusive Hollywood icon, Evelyn Hugo. Basically, it's the end of her career and she is ready to tell the truth about her glamorous secret life, and it is absolutely amazing. You will be hooked from start to finish. You will be jaw dropped. You'll be tears out the eyes. You'll be everything you want to be and more. So thank you, BookTok, for bringing this book to me. So good. However, BookTok, you also brought this book to me, The Love Hypothesis. Now, this book is super cute. Look at it. That's super cute. However, this is not a great book. It's about Olive, who's a PhD candidate, and it's about her and Adam, and it's just a little bit too predictable. It's a little bit jarring, and it's a little bit too long. I feel like the other Ali Hazelwood books are better, but this is definitely not the best. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're going to read it, it's not bad. It's not a waste of your time, but I wouldn't recommend it. So overall, a bit of a miss for me personally. But I do need to read a new vampire one because people said that one's really good. So check back in with me on that one. Now, the next book I have to recommend to you, the BookTok classic, The Song of Achilles. This book is a masterpiece, okay? This is about Achilles and Patroclus or Patroclus. I don't know how you say his name right. I'm no Greek expert, but this book is a masterpiece. It's basically about their secret love story. And who knows what's true and who knows what's false, but I know I believe every single word of this book, and I cried like a baby at the end. And I mean sobbed. I mean sobbed in my bed for an hour and a half. I think I finished it at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't put it down, and I didn't stop crying all night. It's so good. If you're looking for a tearjerker, look no further. This book is a masterpiece. It's so good. Now, the next series that comes up on BookTok all the time is the Inheritance Games. Now, this is a really cool concept. Also, a really cute trio of books. Basically about the Hawthorne family, and their great-granddad or granddad dies, and he leaves in his will just riddles all over, and everything is a game. And this family is known for, like, they've always had to work out riddles, and they live in like a mansion with secret doors and passages. They've always lived like a life of like mystery and secrets, but in a cool way. And basically, Avery, who is not a part of this family, gets a letter that she's been invited down to the house. She is also now a part of the game, and they all have to work out the game, and the first to work it out gets all the money. So it's her versus the 4 Hawthorne brothers, and it is a masterpiece. These books are amazing, super fast paced, super addictive, so clever. Anyone who's read these books knows the big plot twist, and it blew my mind. I think these are so good and just really fun, and I would recommend them. Now, speaking of harmless, this is not. The Silent Patient is absolutely scary. This is one of the most famous thriller books on TikTok, and there is good reason. It is such a good book, but oh my god, is it mind beguiling. Let me just read you the back, and if this doesn't convince you to read it, I don't know what will. Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then, she hasn't spoken a single word. It's time to find out why. This book is so good. It's so addictive. This book is so good. It is trippy, and at times it is dark, but it is so well written and it is so clever. This is a really good book, but it is absolutely scary. So I'll only be reading this if we're looking for a little bit of a scare. You know what I mean? We want to stay up at night thinking about it. This is the book for you. However, if you want a book that you'll go to bed with a little smile on your face imagining you live there, then these are the books for you. Lauren Gilmore's series, ongoing. It's not finished, guys, so if you get involved now, there's more to come. Originally started with The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. The cutest autumnal read you will ever find. There's nothing cuter than that. Look at the covers. These books are so cute. We've got the Cinnamon Bun bookstore. We've also got the Christmas Tree Farm for a Christmas read, and just recently, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. All of these books are so cute. I will buy anything this woman writes because these books are all set in Dream Harbour. So at the front of the book, you actually get a little map of Dream Harbour, and it has all the different places on it. And now as she writes each book, you get to go to each place. There's a flower shop, an ice cream shop, there's a pet shop, there's all sorts of shops that I want to visit, Miss Gilmore, so keep the books coming. I love the idea that we're literally going through the town, and also the characters of each book's cross over. So it's like you are getting to know this whole entire village of people. It's super cute. They are sometimes a little bit spicy, which I found very unexpected. I thought these was going to be cutesy romance, but they're a little bit spicy. But they're also absolutely adorable. They're so cute, and there's like one for each season, and I love that, and I just hope she never stops writing them. So I would recommend. One of the original famous BookTok books is, of course, Shatter Me. Now, Shatter Me is a humongous series which is all over the house right now. Some of them will probably be in these piles, and they all are something me. So Ignite Me, Believe Me, Love Me. I know, they're all me's, and they all have an eye on the front, and each eye is in a different, like, form. They're really cool to look at and it's a really cute series to buy. These books are very cool because they're written, it's like you're in the mind of the girl that they're about, and she basically has crossed out things that she says. So in the book, she will say things and then cross them out, like her own thoughts, but you're reading them because you can read them through the cross out, but they've been crossed out. It's really, really clever. They're really easy to read, really fast paced. They're a little bit crazy and there is a love triangle. What more do you want? So BookTok, yes, but they're not the best book ever. You're not going to think about it for the rest of your life, but it is quite nice to have such a big series because you can like dive into it, because then it feels like you're like living in the book for as long as it takes you to read them, which is always really nice. It's like you go into that little world and then come back to your own, which I always enjoy. I obviously cannot do a BookTok video and not talk about ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, literally one of the most famous books of all time. It is a 5-book series by Sarah J. Maas. She also has a Throne of Glass series, which is super famous, but I have not read that yet. I have read ACOTAR. I love ACOTAR. ACOTAR is amazing, but the last one, guys, it is so hard to get through. It's absolutely humongous. Characters are amazing. It is about fae and fairy and all these realms and these rules and there's different courts. Massive love triangle. Such good books, especially the first one. I think the second one is my all-time favourite, but the first one is such a good start to the series. You will be hooked. Could not recommend ACOTAR enough, but it is a big fantasy world. You've got to be ready to get into a big fantasy world. You know what I mean? If you're looking for a light read, this is not the time. But if you want to like step out of this world and into another one, this is where you need to be. And speaking of fantasy, Six of Crows. This is a duology by VIDEOOOO, who also wrote Shadow and Bone. If you've watched Shadow and Bone on Netflix, such a good series. I actually think they're over here somewhere. Shadow and Bone series, so good, and the Netflix show is so good. She also wrote The Six of Crows. Now, first book is Six of Crows, second one is Crooked Kingdom. They are both humongous. They're both like 500-600 pages. I felt very intimidated coming into this, but oh my god, just such an amazing job of building an entire world that you just want to dive into living forever. You've got a gang of people led by Kaz Brecker, who's the main guy, and basically they've all got a very specific skill set and they're all very good at different things and they come from very different lives and they all come together to break into the Ice Court. Loads of stuff happens. They are the best group of people you will ever meet. Every chapter is told by a different person's perspective, which I love because you get to know every single one of them just as well as the other. This is one of the only books I've ever highlighted. I had to highlight lines because they were so good. It's so well written. There's so many different tropes going on. It's so addictive. It's very much for me, like when I think about Six of Crows, I feel like I lived there. I feel like I was there because it was so well written and so immersive. I could not recommend these two books enough. I need this to be turned into a TV show or a movie. It is so well written. They are so good and I am so jealous of anyone who hasn't read them and gets to read them for the first time. So massive thumbs up from me to BookTok. However, BookTok also brought One of Us is Lying into my life. Now, this is a Netflix series. I haven't watched it on Netflix because, quite frankly, the book wasn't very good. I love the concept of that you've got 5 different people and someone is lying and working out what the truth is. It's very fast-paced. I don't think the twists are particularly clever and I don't think you end up kind of rooting for any of the characters. I feel like it's quite like wishy-washy. But there's quite a few books in the series. I've read 2 more, I think, but I don't remember anything about them. And that tells me it wasn't very good. I do love a sprayed edge though, so bonus 2 points for that. But overall, I wouldn't really recommend One of Us is Lying. I think there's much better thrillers out there if you're going to read a thriller, if that makes sense. For example, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now, this is one of the most famous BookTok books ever, and for good reason. Holly Jackson's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is one of my favourite books I've ever read in my life. It is the start of a series. It's 3 full books and a novella. All of them are amazing. I recommend every single one, but the first one is the best. This is basically about a school student who decides to open up a cold case to work out what really happened as her final year project. And oh my god, the twists and turns are crazy. And it is written in such a way that you feel like you're living it with her. I feel like I was 16 again back at school. Like it felt like that nostalgic vibe of like coming home for tea on time after school and what she was doing on the weekends. Like it really, really feels like you're back at school and you're living it with her. The twists are amazing. The plot is amazing. You will not expect the end. And I loved it. I've read it twice now and I probably will reread it again. It's so, so good. But it's also really digestible. Like you really understand what's happening. You know all of the characters and you're fully making guesses as you go. You're not like, wait, what's going on? You know what I mean? It's also not just written like a normal book. It also has transcripts of interviews. It has pictures of maps. It has journal entries. It has loads of different like mediums in it, which I always love because you feel even more immersed in it and you also read it 10 times faster. So another 10 points for A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And to finish off this BookTok series, we cannot talk about BookTok without talking about Freedom McFaden. Anyone who's watched any of my BookTok videos on TikTok knows I love Freedom McFaden. She writes books faster than I can talk about them, so I don't know how she's doing it, but they are so addictive. Freedom McFaden writes thriller books. They're all thrillers, they're all super fast paced, they're all about 300 pages, and they all have mad twists and turns. She is the queen of a plot twist, and I am so here for it. Her books are amazing. Her most famous book is probably The Housemaid. Abby, my diva, if you're watching this, she just finished it. It took her 9 weeks, but it is such a good book. She then turned it into a trilogy, so you've got The Housemaid's Secret and you've got The Housemaid's Watching. The main character is called Millie and spelt the same as mine, so an extra 15 points for that alone. But these books are so good. They're not like groundbreaking, unbelievable things, but they're just like addictive thrillers that are written so well, so easily, so easy to follow along, and then full of turns. You never know what's going to be happening next. Other Frida McFadens to mention: The Boyfriend, one of her most recent ones, about Sydney Shaw, who had terrible luck dating and couldn't find a man, but now she's got this perfect boyfriend and he is amazing. But then a woman gets murdered and it's looking a little bit suspicious. It's really, really good. Again, you will literally fly through these. I recommend these to anyone that's in a reading slump, or if you're not into reading, because you will read these so quickly. You'll just want to know what's happening next. Chapters are really short and it's really easy to follow. Would recommend The Inmate, a very strange book. All of her books are quite addictive, but some of the plots are just a bit silly, and for me, The Inmate was not the best. So it is very hit and miss. I feel like her most popular ones are popular for a reason. Ward D, I don't know if I would recommend. The Inmate, I don't think I would recommend. But I've read them and I don't regret it. I just don't think that should be the first one that you reach for. But The Crash, this is another one she wrote very recently because she writes books every 15 minutes. Really good book about a woman who is alone, pregnant, and she crashes her car in the middle of a storm in the middle of nowhere. You already know it's going to be mad. So I picked it up and I loved it. All Frida McFadens are a good time. I'd recommend them all. There's just some that are better than others. And with that, I think that is all the BookTok books I have with me today. There's definitely some other really famous ones. I just can't find them within all the piles around this house, but I feel like we covered the most famous ones. I hope this inspires you to pick up a new book, maybe even a BookTok book, and now you know which ones to avoid and which ones to head to the works for and see if they're on a special offer. But thank you for watching this week's video. Something a little bit different, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!